All right, so sorry, we exceeded 45 minutes. All right, so I'm going back. All right, so let's say for example's sake, I am putting in let me fill this up. All right, so I'll continue to the next one where it says create an this is from a website I'm going to send to you people. So I'm going to send this website. I think it allows you to build a I've not used it before, but I don't know. I think it's free or something. So I'm just going to have to log in with Google. Yes, I'm going to log in with Google. Continue. All right, so I'm in, and as you can see, I already have my name up here and my address up here. So now it's time for the experience. So let's see your experience. So I will just continue. And it looks like I'll have to state what I do, what's the job title. So let's say I am a copyright, say direct response copywriter. Okay, so this is freelance direct response copywriter. Um, employer, if I have a previous employer, I'd go for it. But let me just say Golden uh digital service. Service. That's company name. Then where is it situated? Let me say what date did I start working there? I'm going to go back all the way to 2015. Uh, okay, let me go to 2020. Let me go to 2020 January. So you're expected to provide the date you started working in this company. Then are you still working there or did you stop working there? You need to also provide, if you stopped working, you need to provide the date that you stopped working there. But if you still work there, you can check this box where it says I currently work there and then you continue. Now you're expected to write up something. So you tell us what you did as a freelance direct response copywriter. And by the way, this thing just could have been copywriter or direct response copywriter. So, but this is for example's sake. Now, you can state what you did while working in that place, in your previous workplace, or even if you still work there, you put it there. What were you doing? So I can say I was okay. Let me just write copy chief at good thing digital service. right? So you can put this in sentence form or you can just list it out like that. And then what else? Leading, these are copywriting terms, so I expect anybody who is going to look to employ me to understand them. Leading controls, um, web, let me see, marketing chief, and all what you have, all what have you. Then yes, the search recommended phrases to whatever. This is for keyword sake, right? Because you're going to be submitting these things in soft copy form. Hold on. Okay, I thought some people were waiting. So you need to then write some keywords that will help people find, like, that will help your resume to surface in searches or whatever. So here are some. This one says demonstrated outstanding product knowledge to achieve high whatever. Let me see if I can add this here. Okay, these are like suggestions of what you can add on this place. So, did you handle a number of inbound calls per day during the time you were working in that place? If yes, check this. If no, like, but like these are like suggestions that I'm seeing here. It looks like this is a smart interactive website that helps you complete up something. So right now, I think I'm done because I'm not exactly going to download this CV. I'm going to delete it. That's why I'm not taking my time to write it up. But I just need you to know what you're supposed to do in every particular point. So you continue. Remember, I'm supposed to even upload an image. And speaking of which, your image should be very, very, very your image is very important. You need to select it carefully. It's if you have your way, you can go take a studio pic. And of course, your your picture or your image here should not be a full size image. It could just be from your shoulder up, shoulder level picture. So let me see if I can upload one. Okay, so I think let me go with this one. So yeah, and have it like this. Set that save. All right, so you can see that, right? Um, right here, review your experience. So if you want to add more jobs that tells about your experience, let's say you've worked in more than one place, right? So you can include it because as many as you can include, the better because it just tells about your ability to perform whatever job that is required of you. So this particular CV is a very simple one, very simple and very short. I mean, the template I chose, by the way. So all I need to do is put as many things as I can here. You can have up to 5, 10 of it. and depending on how many notable places you worked, then you include education. If you have a master's degree in something, you put it here. If you have your BSc, if you have your master's, if you have whatever degree, if you have completed a certificate course somewhere that is not necessarily done in schools, you can put it here as part of your education. Like for me, I belong to American Writers and Artists Institute, one of the best copywriting training organizations in the world. So I can put that here as well because I'm a writer and people need to know that I can do their work. Therefore, they are looking for trainings that I've completed that have something to do with the job I'm applying for. Therefore, I can put that as part of my education, and all of the programs that I've completed under American Writers and Artists Institute. I can put all of it here under education. So I'm not going to continue to fill up these things, all right? But I believe you've seen the idea, you've gotten the idea. So I'm going to take my time and redesign this CV. And note, please, if you're designing CV because you want to help people do or help people write their CV, you're going to make it very professional. Like make sure that your CV is something that people will look at and they will be like, okay, I think I like this person's CV. Let me give him my CV to do for me, right? Because people want you to do something you have done for yourself. So this particular one doesn't even stop at just the address. Remember, we've not even done the summary. We've only included experience. Then later I'll put up education. Then all your skills, what can you do? So I'm a copywriter, yeah. Are there other things I can do? So I'll put my copywriting here, I'll put digital marketing here, I'll put web design. These are extra skills, soft skills that I can further provide for my client. But then beyond all of that, since I'm a writer, I can also include content writer, right? Content writing. I can include article writing. I can include creative writing, but that's if I can do all of these things. Editing and proofreading. These are all part of writing. These are layers, sub-layers of writing. So you can include them as your extra skills because these are the things that are going to give you more value. Every writer needs to know how to edit and how to proofread because that will automatically tell your potential employers that you cannot just write, but you can also read and proofread to make sure that there's no mistake in what you have written, right? So that they won't have to go through the whole stress of reviewing your work again. Because if you do this great job, the next time they are looking, every first project, your client is going to review it. But over time, if they review your work for the first 2 times or the first 3 times and they see that there was no much thing to correct or not even anything to correct at all, and you did a great job, they won't bother reviewing your work anymore. Those kinds of clients, they never go away. They become your loyal clients. They stay with you and they recommend you to their friends. That's how they put you on retainer. Whatever you do, even if you're hey CV design, there are companies that are doing nothing else but designing CV for others. For instance, this particular website we are using here, Life Career, their job is just about helping people build their CVs, right? So this is what they do as a company. And of course, they have people behind at the back end doing this, designing this template for them, right? So those people design those templates. You could also very well be one of them. It could be freelancers, it could be full-time employees that they have. But either ways, if you know how to do anything very well, you're always going to see a job under it or for it. So this is what you need to know. And you can use, if you don't want to use sites, you can go on and use Google Docs. All right. So on Google Docs, you can see the exact same thing, right? That we saw in those places. So your name is here. What do you do? Are you a copywriter? This one says creative director. So if you're a writer, if you're a CV designer or CV writer, you put it there. If you're a CV editor, you put it there. But you can put CV/resume writer on here, and then you can put your name, your address around here, and your contact, either by phone number or email. Include your skill, include your experience, include your education. Then if you've won any awards, it's imperative you put it here as well. If not, you clean it off. Then this is your introduction, because everybody is going to read this, and this is what is going to make them read the next thing. All right. So if here is good enough and wants to, of course, this is where you tell them, hey, this is who you are and this is what you can do. All right. So they check here and they see, oh, you work with so company, or you have this experience with these people, you have this experience, you have this experience. All of this is good. For your education, you have the name of the school you did, maybe your first degree, your second degree, or you've completed one training here or the other. You put it all here. Then the awards you've won, you put it here. Yeah, for the skills, you put all your skills, and of course you should make space for an introductory layer. If not, you just go ahead. But then after you're done designing all of these things, there's a next layer, which is like your cover letter. I don't know, first of all, I'm sure you all see how simple it is to make like a CV. You're using a template. I'm going to send you like a few completely designed CVs so that you can use it as a guide when designing your own. So just someone will have to remind me about it like later, pretty much like later. So because I will have to sort it out as well. So now, after you're done, you need to go and write your letter. Your letter now looks like a proposal. So let's see what a proposal now looks like. You can still use Google Docs. Here is a project proposal. Let's see what that template, what should be in your proposal. But then this is going to be different from what is to be in your letter. Your letter is essentially a formal letter telling the person. It can be short, can be long, but then short letters are better, very much better. You don't have to bore them. So you just need to tell them what you have, that like who you are, what you can do, why you're the best person to get the job that you're applying for. And then you're also going to need to tell them how you're going to get the job done. So do you have consistent internet or stable internet? Do you have a laptop? If their work requires the use of a laptop, what are the equipment that are required for you to do that job effectively, and do you have them? Another one is you need to tell them in your cover letter your process. If you're a writer, what is your writing process? All right. So by the way, writing process would include things like what is your process, what process do you undertake before you start, before you write. All right. So what is your process before you write? For me, let me just tell you as an example. For me, I'm a copywriter, by the way. So my process is simple. Before I start writing, I gather all my materials. So I have my laptop set up properly. I'm fully charged, of course. I have a glass of water with me. I have all of the empty books that I'll be using for my research, right? I have my questionnaires for the research, or what you may call a research guide, right? And then I have samples, copy samples, all right, that relates to what I'm about to write about, or what I'm about to write. So after having all these things around me, the first thing, and this is the first key element of my process, is make research. So research first, and then secondly is after researching, you assemble your research results. Am I still audible? Somebody should let me know if I'm audible. Hello? Can anyone hear me? Okay, yes, I'm audible. Thank you. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, you need to okay, yeah, my after research, assemble my research results, and then um look through a couple of samples that relates to what you're writing about and excuse me, get your plans right. So the second thing I start doing, and this is going to be in my work process as well, is I start writing. Write the lead, and of course, part of my research would include all the concepts that customers that would help me to get uh sorry my research would include a detailed research about the prospects of my customers or my client customers. So the prospect, the market, and the the product itself. These are the three triangle the three what now? That's what we call it, but that's not important. So the three main parts of your research, you need to also state as part of your process. But that's if you're a writer, please. I'm just giving you an instance. So be specific about your your words in your cover letter. So that's your process, your research, and you need to mention what exactly you do in your research. So you need to research about the product, the customer, and of course the market. Then detail that out, and then you write. You get your testimonials, get your social proof, assemble them. Then after writing, proofreading. After proofreading, you edit. All right, edit, correct errors, proofread again, read aloud. You know, all those things, they are all the necessary things you necessarily need to put in your process. So you put all that in your cover letter. So you don't need to assure your client, or sorry, whatever, whoever is reading your cover letter, that you have ample plan to do their work diligently. That assurance is what they are looking for. There are words, by the way, you should avoid using in your portfolio. Sorry, in your CV and in your cover letter. Words like experience, they are no longer necessary because people use them over and over and over again, and it's becoming meaningless because, well, it's too broad, it's too generic. So when you say you have experience, you have 5 years of experience, experience in doing what? You need to be very specific. What do you know how to do? What have you, how long have you been doing that thing? And be very specific. Go to the details, the very important things that your employers are looking for. Go to them specifically. Then after you're done with all that, like I said, make sure that your letter is short. It pays as well to have a headline. That's why I said you should use a formal letter. Of course, it's going to be a formal letter. They're not your family members or your friends. So when you use formal letters, the formal letter has a headline. So your headline, you should make it very interesting so that the customer, the employer should be able to see something that will make them want to read through your letter, because from the headline itself, or from the title of the letter, the the potential employer will decide whether or not they're going to read your letter, because most people don't have the time. I mean, that's why part of the reasons why they're hiring is to reduce time and workload. So nobody's going to take time to read a very long letter without a headline or with a clumsy headline. So please just make it very interesting, attention catching, and the entire letter, you're going to write it as a lead. Just something, a lead is basically something that hooks your reader. and makes them want to read the next line, the next paragraph, and all the way to the end. So that's a book. That's a lead. You have to make it very interesting and very tantalizing so that they can go on to read and read and read and before they know they are done. Short and precise, very sweet. There is beauty in simplicity. You don't have to speak all the grammar in the world. Just be straight, precise, and direct to the point. Simple. And then you you have your stuff ready. Now, if you're a writer, a designer, or whatever, most employers, especially if you're a freelance, if you're offering your services as a freelancer, most employers would want to see you and have an interview with you. Now, that interview is probably going to happen on a Zoom call. So before you go for that interview, right, you need to prepare something. I'd like to call it a portfolio. Yes, because it's going to be you displaying not just who you are now, because remember, they've already seen your CV. Sometimes they want to see your portfolio. In fact, they've also already seen your portfolio. So sometimes they just want to come and see you demonstrate check your communication ability, check how real you are. You understand? So they just want to be sure that they are hiring the right person, both in person and on paper. So what you can do is you can have a slide ready for them. So if you go to Google Docs, sorry, Google Slide, you see the part, you see portfolios. Now in your slide, you can see if you're using this slide template here, it says the first one is you need to have your name and your work. What do you, sorry, your skill. So if your name is Godswill, Godswill is fine, you put it there. What is your work? Are you a copywriter? You put it there. So yeah, after your name, Susan, so the digital experience designer. The next slide should be about you. Who are you? Now, this is part of the things you can also do on your website, because if you're designing, if you're arranging somebody's portfolio on their website, you can also use this particular format, right? So you want to tell them about you or about your client whom you are arranging the portfolio for. So, and of course, what makes you a good fit for the job. You see, things about passionate are also generic words. You don't want to use them, all right? You want to be very specific and avoid, you should probably go online and search for words that you should not use on CV. I think there are articles that would be nice for you to see. Just tell them the real thing. Be sure that you're straight to the point. All right. Okay. So in the next one, you want to tell about your skill and your expertise. So for designers, you see this example here: motion design, user experience, physical computing, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You have all of that here for designing. Then portfolio samples, you go on to show your samples, display your samples, the project name, what did you do in the project, a brief introduction of the project, and then you put a picture of the project and of course a link following it. Of course, this is how the project can appear, the name and the little introduction, the name, the picture, a picture, and of course, you can have, I don't know, you can use it as an image, or you can just let go of the image. But then the point is you have this, and you have this displaying, and you just have a slide. It shows that you are professional, and not just that, but that you are also organized. So during that interview, if you're showing this to a client, they are very convinced. They are very, very happy to work with you at the end of the day. So these are all the things that makes you a professional. But also, more importantly, if you're designing a portfolio for somebody, you want to follow this particular format. It's actually a very nice one, because When I saw it, I was like, okay, this is cool. I've never used this before, by the way. What I just do is I go and compare different portfolios from big time freelancers that I know. Now, when I pick up to 5 to 10 portfolios, I check how they design their portfolios, and then I then go back and create something unique for myself or for my client. Understand? So that's basically how to do all of these things. Now, very quick one. Before before you write a letter, a cover letter, or a proposal at least for any job, there are things I always want you to ask yourself and things you would need to know or keep in mind. First is always ask yourself, why do clients hire writers or designers? Why are clients hiring you? What is the motive? What is the purpose? Why? Why? If you can answer that question in your head, then writing your letter will be a lot easier. The second question is, what problem are they trying to solve? Sorry, that's the part of the question. The first question, by the way, is what problem are they trying to solve? What is the problem they have? Understand? So that problem they have is why they are hiring you, why they are looking to hire. So what is the solution they are looking for? Of course, for you to apply for that job, it means you can provide solution to that problem that they have. Therefore, you want to ask yourself, what can you do to ease this problem or to solve this problem for these people or for this employer? Next is check your deliverables. Are you able to meet the deadlines? Do you have the time? Do you have the ability to deliver on the job? Do you have all the tools necessary to carry out that project? Right, so you need to check that as well. Then why should they believe you? What makes you credible? And of course, what makes you fit for that job? So this is the time where you tell them about yourself, what you have done before, and of course, where you work, whatever. Just something that makes you credible, right? So that's where most times your CV then comes in, and you make reference to your CV because those are credible elements. And if you have testimonials, they are the most credible elements because or social proof. Of course, you can stylishly include that in your website as well. Like the one we saw about Ningli, you saw the part where he included on that's if you have a website, by the way, right? But you can include that in your slide if you're in an interview. That's a very nice way. But if not, on if you are using say Upwork or any other social media job board, they should have a space where you include your testimonials or reviews. That's what feedbacks and reviews are for. So state your credibility. So all of that are necessary. Then like I said before about your writing or your designing process, your working process, you need to state the plan that you want to, the approach, the process that you want to take to in order to fulfill or to carry out their job. Then, of course, you need to outline your project schedule and budget. What do you want to be paid for it? When are you delivering? How do you want to prepare your time so that you can meet up and do that work correctly? All right, so these are like the things you need to keep in mind. Of course, you can have a call to action or a summary space in all your stuff, both your CV, your cover letter, and your portfolio. Always have the part that says that summarizes everything you are and everything you do. And of course, why they should look to your side. Because definitely there's no time that you're the most qualified person. There's always somebody somewhere that is more qualified than you are. So, but then there's something that makes you unique, and there's something that they are always looking for. So the most qualified person may miss all of those things, but you just may not. They are probably looking for you. There's just something. Once an employer likes you, they don't care. They are okay with your okay job, okay job. Do you understand? So they don't necessarily, nobody is necessarily looking for the perfect writer, because there's no perfect writer or perfect designer or whatever. They are just okay if you're good to work with, if you don't miss deadlines, and of course you can do the job well. So all of these are necessary. You can include a call to action. Like I said, you should also always put a headline for your, both in your portfolio and in your cover letter. Then there should be a call to action in your portfolio, because if you check most portfolios, you always see where they say, work with me, hire me, let's work together, let me work on your project. These are like call to actions that is found in every single portfolio. So you want to make sure that your portfolio includes all of these things, and necessarily um, any client who likes what you have shown them, either it's your portfolio or your CV, your curriculum vitae, they are going to want to hire you, depending on what you can do for them, that they saw or that you showed them. What you show them is going to determine whether or not they will consider you as a good fit. So all of that is what you need to start cashing out big time. So I'm going to send this website right now to the group, and I expect you to save it somewhere so that you can also have access to designing your CVs. But then don't forget also, if you want to design a CV, you can always go on Google and search for a template for whatever country you're designing CV for. Always tailor your CV to a particular country that you're applying for a job for. Then also, secondly, for every single skill you have, draw up a CV for it. If you're a content writer and a copywriter, if you're also a graphic designer, if you're applying for graphic design job, have a CV for graphic design job. If you're applying for copywriting job, have a CV for copywriting job, and so on. That's how it works. So everyone, thank you very much for attending today's training. I'm so happy to have you all. See you next time. Thank you.